paint here. It looks good. We have the Targa button. Works perfect. So cool. Okay, we're going to do a visual condition report. So we're looking for scuffs, scratches, chips, dings, any cosmetic imperfections that we can find. Looking at this wheel, you're going to have a few small rock chips. See some kind of on the surface of the wheel there. Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's 2019 date code. Tread still looks pretty good. Looking at the fender, you're going to have a couple rock chips. Lower side looks good. I see a few chips throughout. I know it's kind of hard to see if you get really close there. A couple chips there. The rest of that looks nice. Mirror looks good. You do have some chips here, and they did do a great job on the touch-up. You got 4 or 5 more here on that lower side. You got PPF here protecting it. You do have a scratch there that has been touched up. A couple chips. Looking at that wheel, you do have chips throughout. You gotta get pretty close. I'm not seeing any rash though. 2019 date code. The headlights have a slight yellow hue to them. Here on the front end, you're gonna have little rock chips. They did a good job touching up though. And so you're gonna have 3 or 4 there. I see 5 or 6 up top. They're just kind of peppered throughout, and you got to get really close to see those, of course. Here on the front bumper, it is wrapped in PPF, so you have it all the way around the edges. Lower side looks good. You're going to see the typical impacts on that lens over the years. A little snag in the film. It's really hard to tell if it impacted the paint. You can see the cut around here is not the cleanest, but it is there to protect. Here on this wheel, date code is 2019 on that tire. You're gonna have some surface stuff on that wheel. A couple chips. Looking at this door, looks nice. Mirror looks good. A-pillar, nice and clean. You got some small scuffs here. Got a couple gashes here on that lower section. Got a chip here. Looking at that wheel, I don't see any curb rash. Date code 2019. Looking at that back bumper. There are some specks in the paint there. That tail light's really clean. I do see some cracks right here and a moisture in there. There's some moisture there, small crack. That light looks good. Couple small chips. Little scuff there. There's that deck lid, looks nice. Alright, checking out the interior. It is a non-smoker. That looks good. Typical little scuffs around here. You're going to see some bubbling on that material there. That looks good. Minor scuffs on that trim. That bolster looks amazing. Very little wear. Beautiful seat. A couple tiny little scuffs here and there. That looks good. Gauges are clean. I'm trying to scan through that upper side of the dash. That looks really nice. Screen's in great condition. Buttons are good. The shifter looks nice. Typical chips here on the e-brake handle, but otherwise, she's absolutely beautiful. Here on this door panel, that upper section's really clean. Same with the bottom, looks nice. Typical scuffs from getting in and out. Looking at that bolster, it's in great condition. A couple wrinkles here, and then there is this a little harder leather right there in that center spot. And you can kind of see where I'm talking about. That bolster looks good. Console's nice and clean. Glove box, couple tiny scuffs. Upper side of the dash, kind of scan through there. That looks good. And of course the best view right here. Looking back here, you do have some indentions in that leather. They're not rips though. Some creases right there. And that's a little bit harder in that section versus this is a little bit softer. And then even on that side, I see some creases and indentions and little flaws there. A couple scratches here. I'm just scanning through the engine bay. You do have a dent there, some little scratches. That looks pretty good there. And looking in the front, that looks really good. Plastics are nice and clean. Under the hood, that looks good. Okay, we're going on a quick test drive here. 76,153 miles on the odometer. I absolutely love that view. Super cool. I do hear some kind of rattles. Not sure where it's coming from. Might be in the top somewhere there. Looking at that steering wheel, she's perfectly straight. Doesn't shake or shimmy. I'm gonna hear some vibrations in that door panel. It shifts nice and smooth. Like I said, I hear some vibrations over here somewhere. I don't know if it's in that door speaker. It's actually somewhere in that handle. I hold it and it goes away. Besides that though, the car drives amazing. Shifts nice and smooth. Hitting the brakes kind of hard here. No vibrations or shakes or shimmies in the wheel. Very solid. You are going to have those little creaks in that top. Yeah, when I hold this, it goes away. So it's somewhere in the handle or in the plastics there. And then I do hear the typical creaks kind of coming from the top area here. But otherwise, drivability-wise, absolutely perfect. Now that I have the car outside, this is cracked on the taillight. I can see that a lot better. So the rest of that looks good. You got the cracks in here, moisture, cracks. That taillight though is perfect.